Hello and welcome back. I'm Joe, and this is Transport Fever 2, formerly Rail to 1 Billion Challenge. Last time we ended with a slight traffic jam with our trains, and this is the aftermath. This is pretty much right after it. There's a passenger train, here's a cargo train coming up right here, then there's another cargo train waiting right here, there's another passenger train stuck here, there's a cargo train there, cargo train here. I think you get the picture. There's another cargo train here. There's another train inside here doing something or nothing. There's a cargo train right here. Cargo train, cargo train, cargo train, cargo train. You get the picture, I think. That's what I'm going to fix today. Hopefully a little creatively. Yeah, so here is our problem child. What is the actual problem? Well, there are several things that are not going in our favor. The first one is, we look at the terminals. Most of these are double booked. A lot of these are double booked. Not most of them, but some have 3, some have more, some have less. That's not good. So that's the first problem. The second problem is there is no queuing area for the like-minded trains that need to go in here. So technically, I have to get relatively lucky to ensure that only one train per line is going to try to get into their station and wait there. Every once in a while, there's going to be a queue for the same train that needs to get into the same platform. And if that one wants to go in, it's going to block everyone else from going in. So we're going to do a couple things. We're going to turn this into a mega hub. This is just a normal hub right now. We're going to turn it into a mega hub. That's the first task. The second task will be to, well, increase the waiting lines for everyone, which may mean that this mountain may no longer be a mountain when we're done with it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but those are the first two things. And once this one is cleaned up, I will let it run for a little while and see if that cleans up everything here, because I think most of the backup comes because there's a train waiting there that makes the next train wait, next train wait, next train wait. And that is really our biggest issue. If that is not enough, we can easily upgrade this Newton de Willows station. I think that will be relatively easy. And if that is still not enough, I have some plans that can turn this whole area into a much neater and quicker setup. But I won't know if it works until I'm actually done making it work. So that's what I'm going to do today. Also, from that intro, if any of you have a good tool that helps me with flyovers or flybys, like the intro there that I did, I would love to hear it, because I don't know of any, but I would like to use one that makes it a little smoother, because that intro, I don't know, it's not grandiose. Let's call it that. Okay, to get started, we simply need another station here. That's the main thing we're going to go for. And I know how wide the platforms are. They're always too wide. And I'm just going to get one extra one in here. The problem is that I, starting out here, don't know 100% how big I need to be. That is a lie. How many colors do we have here? That is something that's really hard to count, so we're just going to look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's iron 2. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we need 18 platforms. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I wouldn't mind doing just the same thing again, and even maybe making it look, what do we want to call it? Make it look not parallel, but similar. Let's make it look similar. That's not English. What am I saying? That's mirror image. No, that's also not equivalent. Yes, but mirrored is also right. So that's what I want to do. That's what I really want to do here. And to make that happen, I think we need to, well, put the appropriate amount of buildings here. That looks really stupid that it wants to place that the path over there, but it's fine. Because the plan is for me to build the other terminal to the right of this one. It will just look a tiny bit different, but I think we can make it work. And having both of those terminals effectively next to each other means that they can talk to each other, and that's all we need from them. Because as long as the goods flow between both of these, everything is fine. No problems at all. Let's start just with the big one right away. I don't need high speed, but I do want the fastest one. And as you can see, I clicked the wrong button there. The fastest one first, and then as you can see, this is not quite working yet. So it looks like I need one extra piece of track to separate these out so that there's enough space, and that's fine. As long as they at least look parallel, that's all I really want. So there's a collision, there's a problem on this track. We don't actually need any of these tracks unless I want to color this in a little bit later on, but I'm not sure if I need to do that today. Cool. So this one can go here, and that looks fine. It's just the problem with these terminals is they're not actually at the end. If I want this one to be right here, I need to add a little bit of track to this guy. So let's just do that. We can just stay straight and flat, and that should force it to be nice and parallel. Is this going to be a perfect match? Sadly, no. To make it a perfect match, I would need... Actually, this is really, really close. I don't think I'm going to get much better than this. And honestly, I don't mind if this one is just a little bit shorter than this guy. Now, would it be cooler if I could color in this area? Technically, yes, but practically, we can just paint it. We can just paint it with some gravel. What do we have here? Not snow, not rock, not scree, not grass gravel, that's for sure. Gravel 2, gravel 3. I'm sure there's a gravel here that we can use to color in the in-between of the station, and that should take care of everything that we need. But for right now, I would say, I know this is not perfect, but it's as close as I'm going to get it without fiddling around with this forever, and I have no intentions to fiddle around with this forever. Okay, the next thing, I'm just going to expand this to an appropriate size. Is this fine? Am I fine with this length? I can only go 2 wider or 2 longer on this side, and I can do 1, 2, 3 longer on this side. That's not ideal, but I think I can deal with that. You know what? What do I know? If I put tracks now here, then we're extending two pieces that length, which would essentially move it from there to here. Actually, yeah, this is good. My mind was wondering where I don't want to fiddle around forever, but I think I have this piece that will just allow me to place this exactly where I want it to place, just moving 2 tiles forward now. And when I attach the piece that I just built, the building that I just built, to this track that I just extended out, it will be as close to the length that I want here. You'll see what I mean. And did I say in the beginning that I wanted to do something clever today? I think this is pretty close to clever. It's still not perfect, but you will see that when I'm done with this, that it's almost the same length as the station to our right. You see this? It goes a little further. I think that is reasonable. It's not perfect, but it's definitely reasonable. We can place all those here. This building has to go to the end. I don't mind having this actually be a full terminal on this side. I'm not planning on having any trains go past this, but we can still do an asymmetric station on this side, just that there are two super long tracks and the other tracks are just a little shorter. I think it will look a little more interesting than the alternative, and I'm happy with that. With that one there. Look, this one even connects without me having to do anything, so that's a bonus. This looks a little funny, that it extends out the not a footpath. That extends out whatever it extended out there, but that is fine. These, I'd much rather have you not fight me and just give me good connections everywhere. There we go. That looks much better. And then this road can connect to something. This is not an important road, but it's also not a stupid road. So let's extend it to here, and then get it into the city that way. And now it looks like something. Great. Let's finish out this thing real quick. How many do we have? I think I added 8 tracks. That's wonderful. But we need more. How many? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. I cannot add any tracks to the left. I cannot add any tracks to the right of the station, only to the left of the station. It's just flipped. So I think what I have to do is, I know that my length is here now, but I don't know how many tracks I can actually get out of this. And it would be cool if I can put a track in between here. So you know what I'm going to do? I will try this again. And I think there's 25 pieces. So if I use this track, sorry, that was the wrong one. Go back. I will fiddle this around because I would like this to look as good as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means, because that's not how I play games, but it has to be close enough. And I think this can give some of you an idea of how you can do this better. As you can see, there's about this much length difference right now for where that station needs to be. And I think that track right there is about the length that we want. So if I take that one out, this one in, then that is the length difference that we want, but you would go the wrong way. So in reality, I have to go the opposite way, and that's fine. Okay, so if I take this track here, I'm going to place this building again, but this track will align with this, or this terminal will align with this piece of track, and that should get me exactly what I need. And I would like a piece about... Yeah, the problem here is just that it's not straight, and that's fine. We can fix that differently. I have to come out a little further there, and then just about here probably is exactly where we want this to be. Take that one back, now align this on this side, and voila! We've done exactly what I think I described it, but you probably didn't know what I was talking about. So now, if I align this track here, there should be enough space over on this side, and if I'm really, really lucky, and I would really like it, but if I'm really lucky, I may get a piece of track in between these two stations in, and that will be ideal. That's what I really want. So let's see how we end up here. Yes, do it electric because I don't want to upgrade this. 2, 1. Wow, just remember the last thing that I clicked on. 2, 1. Okay, that's as wide as it lets me go, and that's fine. This is now 8 plus 4. This is 12. 12 tracks, I think, are adequate. And if I really want to, I can totally put an artificial track in between there that should make it look really nice. But to do that, I should probably give myself a track to align with. There you go. There's that. Now I just have to finish this thing. This will be a second. Wonderful. So that part was relatively easy. I wouldn't say super easy because you saw me redo that a couple times, but that should be fine. This part, this one is actually easy if I actually use a bigger brush size and a bigger strength. There you go. Just go over this. Just line it up because all I want to do is put a little bit of track in between there to make it look cool. Could I do the same thing over here that we then have a bunch of tracks in the middle? The problem is maybe. But if I look at the track alignment, I'm not guaranteeing that I can fit 2 right in between here. I can. Ooh. With that in mind, I'm going to change this one. Just a long piece. I'll make the track look exactly the same. The problem with doing this is usually that you may forget that there is a station or part of the station where you have a track that can be accessed from 2 platforms on 2 sides, and sometimes you end up having multiple trains on that track then, but I think we can manually make sure that that is not going to be a real problem. So I'm going to fix this, then we're going to have a big quad track in the middle of this, and I think that will look a lot more grandiose and inspirational for the thing. You can't do it there, that's fine. And I'm expecting that I can place the Really? Why? Oh, that annoys me. I did all this work, but I can't add the piece that I need on the outside of this. That's a little lame. So I guess we're just gonna have triple track there. That is really sad. That Urban Games, that's cheating me. Because he showed me that something was there, that there were 3 spaces, or 3 squares out, whatever you want to call this. 3 spaces, probably better. But in the end, there's only 2 spaces, but I can apply a 2-spacer to one of the spaces and therefore gain an extra space. That is not cool. I do not approve of that. But we are here, so we're just going to deal with it anyways. Get you all the way to the end. Beautiful. I hope I never have to delete this because that's going to be a million little pieces. But in the end, I don't care that much either. Cool. So that one is here, that one is here, and now this looks like one humongous station that belongs together. The only thing is this piece of track is not reachable from anywhere else over here. But that's fine. That's fine. I really like that the tanneries are actually aligning this way. So that was number one. Number two, get rid of all of this. I want nothing. Let me kill all of this. Please. There you go. Bulldozer, bulldozer, bulldozer. Make sure when you do this that you don't kill track that's in front of or behind the train. You always want to kill track that's in front of the train first. Otherwise you have orphan trains and sometimes they give you grief. They definitely often go on the wrong station or platform afterwards, and there's my autosave. We definitely needed that. It took me 18 minutes to explain whatever I explained so far. Really, that's a little lame. But that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna make this work. Yeah, this tunnel definitely has to go back, and I have a very either this is gonna be a mega tunnel that is so wide that effectively we don't have a tunnel, or it's not. I don't know yet, but looking at this, there's no way I can keep this on the same height. So let's start with that. Let's just flatten this out. Super strength, please give me a square because I don't want this to be meager at all. We have the money for this, but I need this all to be on the exact same level for that station. Otherwise, a lot of our track will look really stupid. With that in mind, I will level this out. I'll make it look a little better when we're done with it, but for right now, let's just go with the hardcore version of this and see if we can do what we need to do. Great. So, I'm planning on having to use all of these tracks at some point. I could go in and say that I want to make just delivery points and delivery points and pickup points, but the delivery points could be set to have multiple trains enter, but the pickup points definitely cannot. So I got to work around that. I think because this will be the center. Is this the center? Let's see what the center is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So 13 is the middle, because that is 12 on each side. Is that right? I think so. Not 12, because it wouldn't work. So, well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Very good. That is the middle track. I love it. Is this going to be the best one to go off of? I don't know yet, but I hope it's going to give us something. And we need some length. This, honestly, can be our main exit route. And you'll see what I mean by that. This is going to be the main track that leaves out of this zone, which means you have to connect to this guy. Should you connect out here? I don't think so, because I'm taking away a lot of space that I need to get 2 trains out on this end. So back you up just a tiny bit and then come out here. I do want to keep this as straight as possible, because keeping them straight gives you a lot more options for your track that you can lay here. But this is the exit track. And every other track has to connect to that one to get out eventually, but we don't need track to be exitable right away. Okay, entrance track. Well, we need to make a decision here. There's one entrance track somewhere has to connect to. One entrance track here. This one, gosh, because that train is there, it doesn't like me doing anything here. With that train there, I need this entrance to be going to both sides, and that's very important. And I think there's probably an option for doing an over-under here somewhere. I don't see that we really need that at this point. What I would like to do is come out of this tunnel and connect to the furthest on the outside. And the only problem I have here is that this will not give me a lot of wiggle room to connect to any of the other trains. So instead of doing that, how about we use the connection that we have to the outside track here and just start laying some pretty basic connections. So yeah, just like this. Doing it this way should allow me to at least get a reasonable queue length of track in front of it instead of just having one that's too short. I don't know if this one is going to be long enough, but it should be fine and actually at least gives me a connection point right at the end of this. And these are all snapped together, so they should look relatively nice. The best thing about this is I actually need all of these tracks. So there's going to be a lot of train traffic here, which is awesome because usually you see a lot of people build these ginormous train, shunting yards maybe? Big yards in front of their stations or platforms that actually went right past this guy. That's awesome. But they don't use them because they don't have enough trains to do something on them. But in this case, I think you can agree that we totally need this whole shebang of track, and that's exactly why I wanted to build hubs like this, because it looks awesome. Okay, this one is still not plain ball. That's fine. We just have to get to the last two here, because remember, this guy is not actually connected to anything, so we don't need to worry about that one. But we do need to worry about these two, because all of these, again, are already being used. Awesome. So that is our first track, and this is a lot of stuff that goes right in front of it. We can go here, because this is... let's do this. No. Let's just connect you in here. And then get you... Sure, honestly, that's fine. There's a little bend in there. It's not terrible, it's not great. But that's our exit track, and it doesn't have to look pretty. Okay, so... And I think that is telling us that our exit track actually has to go further to the left, which is totally fine. And I really start to like... I'm really starting to like the idea of connecting to this track, because that means we can make a humongous tunnel right there, and I think that would look really cool. With that in mind, we should not start building... Please don't have a train in there. Please don't have a train in there. Good. With that in mind, we should not start building from the outside in. We should start building from this side. And you may call it the outside. I call it something totally different in my mind, so deal with it. But yes, what I'm doing right now is just artificially extend the track length that we have here. For queuing, but I'm also making the biggest tunnel that I've probably ever made, because we're going to have 20 tracks running on this tunnel eventually, and I'm excited for that. Every once in a while you will have problems with your snapping, so make sure that these are all snapped, otherwise it will look really ugly, and nobody wants this to be really ugly, because in the end this is a lot of work to get stuff done. Okay, I'm getting to the point where I can see that I will be way too far out, and I don't need this. So what I really want is that tunnel. And everything past that tunnel, I don't care about that much. Is this going to be smart to delete right up to the tunnel, or should I delete it a little bit further back? I think the answer will surprise you. Let's see. What I want is that track effectively to connect somewhere over here. Really... Let's do this. This track has to connect into this track. That's all I want. Speed does not matter that much. This track will be extended to the next side as well, so don't count this as the last one. But all I want is these guys to get a decent connection. Every once in a while I will allow for tracks to connect a little more weirdly than other times, but I found that the best place to do this is to start from the inside and then go over here. Stay close to the track so it doesn't bow out too much, and then you can just start from there. And here there is a snapping point. There's the blue snapping point right there that you can just use every time and stay snapped to your tracks. And that generally looks quite okay. And it also usually means that you have enough space available for your for the tracks that are coming. So this makes me actually feel pretty good. There's another one right here. And then the last one is coming up about now. Is this perfect? Nope. But I think it's pretty decent, and the tunnel looks perfect from here. The catenaries are not perfect on this area, but honestly, I think in a lot of cases, I wish the catenaries would be out here on the outside of the track, but can't have everything all the time, and in curves, this game just makes it look a little funky. So there's a big tunnel that we have. Great. I hope I can do what I was planning on doing here, because I need the spacing that I already have. I don't want to mess with, so it would be great if this can just get along with what we already done. There, and then this is our exit track. This one's the only one that doesn't have to be connected right away. So you, obviously I can't connect you to anywhere here, but we only have 2 extra tracks that come out of here. So I think what we're gonna try, yeah, see, there's not enough wiggle room to extend what we have here to make pretty. Autosave, you're showing up way too much to make it pretty, and this turn is just too slow even for a cargo train entering the area. So what can I do here? I could start the next run, but the next run would not work in this area simply because, well, there are 4 tracks here. Could I do a separate run with 4 tracks? Technically, I totally could, but no. I'm going to redo this. I'm not going to make you watch that, but I will complete this tunnel piece with the exact same motions that I just did, just hopefully a little better, and I may take away some of this city. Okay, honestly, this looks great. And again, this is our exit track. We do need a secondary track that comes out here, and I don't know if we're going to get what I want it to be. I'm okay with having a tiny bit of gap in between here, but I don't think we can get the track connection with, well, across the road. I think that's my real problem. I would like to keep this, but in all honesty, having this a road or what is it, level crossing, maybe against Geneva Convention in this case, because there's going to be a lot of train traffic here, and I don't think they would appreciate that. So how about we just go out here a little further away and then get this track to do its thing. I think that's pretty nice. Could we do this a little closer? Maybe, but honestly, I don't care that much. And it's just embrace this and keep this spacing of 1 track between these 2 tracks going into this area. I think that would be really nice. And we may actually keep that just to have this tunnel even bigger. Are tunnels at this size even permissible? Maybe, but I could easily take away that track in the middle. I don't think it's super necessary to have, but it should be fine. And if this is the only crossover point for all these trains that will go into all these directions, that will be pretty good. That would really, really be pretty good. Okay. You see what we did there? I don't think it's complicated in any shape or way, shape, or form. The only problem we have now is we have to get all of these tracks back onto this guy. And that is not easy. That is indeed not easy at all. It's easy for some of them. It's usually really easy to cross over to the next one, but I'll show you. These will not allow the double slip crossing at all. So you would have to try to get some double slip crossings in here the other way, but they often don't play ball. And you can do this one, but without having some double crossings somewhere else, they don't play ball either. So you could go super crazy like this, is what I'm doing. But we have the luxury of already having extra length or extra queuing length. And I think we can use that. We can use that to make this an actual relatively realistic core field that we're going to use. Now, you could argue that we're actually not going to use the outside track here. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I think we are going to use the outside track. But what I have in mind is build a still too sharp. Not going to work that way. What I have in mind is build several of these in a row that, as long as we can get all of these to do double slips. I just need all of them double slips. I'm really close to the angle that I need, but I'm just not quite there yet. There we go, and there we go. Okay, so these are good. And that means we will add a little bit of extra queuing behind here, which also just translates to we are going to take away some queuing space. But I don't see that as a huge issue, to be honest. Can I get you here? I think that should be fine. You can double slip, you can double slip. Now, is this going to be a bottleneck? Yeah, absolutely. This is absolutely going to be a bottleneck. And I'm actually remembering how I solved this the last time, which was have multiple exit queues instead of just one. Because at this point, the train that's on this track, which is going to be a mainline train, will queue from there all the way to here, which in the end is not that long. Maybe I'll just have to readjust where my mainline trains will go, because we can always pull out the tracks or the stations a lot more this way if we need to, and we can also use the other side. But for right now, this will be our exit track, and I think I'm going to use this as the second exit track at some point. It's going to connect to a real station there. That's neat. Or a real platform there, so it's actually going to be used for real. But this is just a fake track. Nobody's going to use that. Nothing's going to happen to that one. But yeah, the track that I built over here, you will eventually merge into the actual exit track that we have right here. And ideally, I would like you to look somewhat pretty when we do that. Right there. So now we have two exit queues that can leave the station, which means we should have double the amount of trains that can wait there. Awesome. We have all that figured out now, and that's what we really wanted. The next thing that we need is probably something like this. Something like this is not going to work because that tunnel is just not going to play ball. But is it? Is it maybe? So the problem is just the length of the tunnel, because I need enough space to... Let's try this. I want to see how this works out. No, I don't think it's going to work just because of where this tunnel is, because they won't get along. I'm pretty certain about that. But let's see anyways. What can we do here? It may be a two-tunnel type situation, but it may not be. Oh, this is not going to work. I can't. So my problem that I'm running into right now is I can't split these up in a good way, because, well, I can't split them up the way I split them up right now, because they can't go two different directions for the tunnels. That's just not going to work. Ooh. I'm okay with this. I can always punch that tunnel back just a tiny bit from the place where it is right now. But we have one here, and then I just... Never mind. That's ugly. I thought I was going to go close to the tunnel where it was, but that wasn't it. Try again. Nope. I think you're just refusing. Nope, there's the tunnel. There's the tunnel that I wanted. And then get you in here. That looks fine. And yeah, we will just have to get these connected in a reasonable fashion. Let's do those two really quick. They were supposed to be easy, but everything else I think will be harder. But I think because these are all set back a little bit, we could still use this tunnel. How will this look coming in here? All I really need, and that's not the end of the world. I'm assuming this looks, yeah, it's borderline not acceptable, but we can make a pretty easy fix here. Instead of complaining about it, make this a little gully that goes back a little further, then use our little friend of making this better. And now this looks like, yes, someone man-made this for sure, but it doesn't feel completely outlandish. And now we still need relatively straight track to get this organized. Let's see. Ooh, you know what? We can easily get the extra seven tracks in this tunnel, because now we have space. We're gonna get 7 in there. Well, if I go out to both sides, so this is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, if we go on this side too, I think should work. 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it would look better to have a completely straight connection through here, but if we can't get that, then we can't get that. So, see what we can do here. Hey, tunnel. Can you... Really? You're not gonna... Hmm. I don't know if you can believe it, but I'm not planning on redoing this tunnel. So I think this track is just gonna be a no-go. I'm not gonna try to fight that, but this one is fine. Yeah, no, this is good. This is good. This is a-okay. And this one should be able to connect somewhere into here. That looks great. Because I just took one away, I do need to get one extra track on this side. But that shouldn't be a huge deal to connect because we have so much more space on this side that I'm not terribly worried about it at all. Actually, start connecting you from really far out here. No, we don't want a tunnel here. It could look really cute, but trust me, it's not what we want in that case. For some reason, we get really high speeds in there. That's pretty neat. Stay on this side. Cool. Cool, cool. And just one more. Last connection right in here. How does this look? How does this look? Not quite sure how this game decided that it wanted to... Like, this doesn't look level. This doesn't look level at all, but in the end, I don't care about it that much because everything else is fine. Oh, I think there's a little hump that the game lets me go over here, and it's just what it is. But that's fine. Yeah, we're building a humongous hub, and we're going to use every single track at some point. I don't think we're going to use them all right now, but we will very, very soon. And that's all that matters. Okay, last track comes from here, and then we just have to connect the correct ones to the correct pieces. And the easiest way to do that is to actually level all of these out to go as far out as every other one. And then you can just pull it from there, and then it will look really, really straight and nice. So oh, this is almost a straight line. That's totally acceptable. You go there, then the next two can go here. And this will look nice and even, and I think it will be very pleasing to everyone who looks at that. That looks good, that looks good. I'm not even terribly worried about the snapping in this case. And we should be good. Now, there is an opportunity here to build a train thing. What's it called? Train depot. A large train depot right in this little piece, but I'm not sure that that is necessary in this case. What is necessary is to get from all the way out here back to this. Back to this. And let's see if there is a reasonable connection that actually will give us all the connections that we need. I'm pretty sure that these are all way too tight. So no, they're not going to work. Let's see how we're going from there to there. That looks reasonable. The game says no, that is not reasonable at all. I'm really close, but it's not quite there yet. Now I do know that this is already the right angle, so technically you don't have to delete everything all the time. You can just start from there again and go a little further out and then see if the game is agreeing with your idea, which in this case it is, so wonderful. There is the option of just moving everything out to the left here, but I don't want to build an extra out for that, so we're not going to do this. I could use... No, we already determined that I can't get to this track from this side. So, do I have another option? Well, all I have to do is get to this track. I'm an idiot. I said I don't want to do the outside, but the outside is by far the best option for what we can do here. So let's just do that, because if I go to the outside, I only have to cross once, not twice. And that is totally worth it. Which still means these guys have to connect to this track. But everyone else can just do whatever they need to do. Double slip that one, double slip this one. This one doesn't need a double slip, and these are the two exit tracks, but that means this one does not have an incoming track. That is not super helpful, but something we can definitely fix, like so. But if I do that, yeah, no, this one will just not have a queuing area. I don't want to redo everything that we just did. I'm arguing because this track in the middle right here now currently doesn't have any use. Both of these could be the exit tracks, but in the end, we're looking at a lot of trains coming from here and only a couple trains coming from here. I think that should be fine. There is the option of expanding this again. It will be a little hard, but I think we'll be okay. I don't think that we need all of the things that I was just thinking about. So let's just get this one out of here. Get it far enough back to make a good swing into... Wow. It just refuses to do that swing. That's very cute. You see this? It's just refusing to do exactly this connection that I need. Let's just start a little further out from the station. We have... How much queuing space do we have? Some. It's not great. The longest one is on the right, but I think that should be fine. Double slip all of these. There are probably engineers that have figured out a better way to get trains from one side to the other, especially in these situations, but I'm pretty happy with this because I know this is going to work. And again, I do want some queuing space, and not every platform is going to have the same amount of queuing space, which is fine, because not every lane will require the same amount of queuing space. But you see this? This will be a busy, super duper busy hub, and I love it. Okay, so that's done. The next thing I need to do is signal everything out, and it's going to be pretty simple. I will put the signals as close to the junctions as possible from the incoming side, and then I'm just going to make sure everything is one way that needs to be one way. Okay, that was relatively easy, and now to the hard part of the whole operation, which is making sure that all trains still function. How is this south belt line broken? What now? Manage line. You're going through here. Oh, I must have... Yeah, okay. I just put a signal in a place that wasn't required. It will be really cool to have a mod here that goes across, I don't know, 15 tracks for a signal bar, but I don't have that, so these are really close. They're not perfect, but that's just how I play. Let's let these trains run for a little while. Not for very long, though, because we will start moving things over here. So we need to have this one up here, and then there's a crude oil supply. That feels like one that could go really anywhere we want it to, so let's just go to this one. It would be nice if this opens the line menu for me right away, but it doesn't. That's fine. So, H1 crude oil, bus crude oil. You, instead of going to, I guess, what do we do here? Let's name these something. You are H1 east, and this is H1 west. H1 west. I'm only saying that because I'm looking at the camera that way right now. So, H1 east, I want you to go to H1 west instead, and kill this one, and life should be good. Great. Then Uppingham fuel production. Where are you? Up. Let's just do this. Up. Fuel production. You're going out here. You have to stay on the outside. I can't change you. Plastics delivery. Okay. What is that? Goods. Plastic delivery. You are... I think you're also going out this way. I just don't really want you to be on 1. You're on... That's confusing. Where are you? Where are you stationed? H1 East. So you go to Canuck, Bingham, and Leon Thames. You just move in between them? Between both of them? That's not great. But you're also not... You're not on Terminal 1. You're on Terminal 2. Oh, Terminal 2 has all of these. That makes sense. But goods plastic production can stay on Terminal 2. I believe at this point it's just one... Oh, this. It's also going on 3, and the one on 3 is not helping. Bing delivery H1? No, you just have the same color. See, there's just too much going on here. H1 steel, let's fix that one first. H1 steel. You definitely are not needing to go to this guy. You can go all the way out here. Life should be good. I don't need east anymore. I do want you to wait until full, wherever. Cool. I'm just going to do this until I have all of these reorganized. It shouldn't be super complicated, but it'll take a little while. Welcome back. Glad you're still here. So it seems to work. It's really the main thing. Everything has one terminal now. I guess I can show you the lines. We do have, I believe, 3 tracks total. That's 1, 2 here, 3, 4, 5. That's all we have. There are a couple ones that are just terminals. We could turn them into a terminal in both directions, so there could be 2 trains effectively going in on the same track if we had to, but I don't see a reason for that right now. So yeah, most of these are taken, which is awesome. Really weird that this one is not treated as a terminal, but whatever. So yeah, most of these are doing exactly what they need to do, and the traffic in front has subsided. There's nothing. So even this small station seems to do the trick, even though every once in a while I have a train parking right in here in New Willows to drop off some cargo. But it works. It works. I'm honestly a little surprised by that, but it definitely does work. What doesn't work is, well, there was a little bit of backup over here, but I think we may be able to say this is all fixed now. Everything is moving. This is still figuring itself out just for a little while. If you see the numbers down here being a little lower than they were before, some of the trains were just so messed up that I just rebought them, repurchased them, and then had them sent out again. And yeah, now this is all figuring itself out, and we should be making money left and right for everything that we need. And yeah, no, honestly, it feels really, really good. I'm kind of surprised how well this worked. It feels so good that I believe I could add a second train for most of these runs when it's appropriate. And we could look at the actual details of the line. Like this one is moving 173. Is that enough? It's also only going every 17 minutes. It's going all the way out here. Is 173 enough? Well, if we look at this one, no, 173 is barely half of what we need. So just say, hey, you, do another one, and then may as well do another one because that's how much we could potentially move. These oil wells are always turned on, so you can get all 400 right away. You don't have to do much demand for that, so that's pretty nice. I'm assuming this one has a pretty similar number. No, it doesn't. 99. I can either make a much bigger train here, or just add 4 trains. So I feel very confident that I can just do 1, 2, 3, 4. And now this line should be able to move the 400 rate that I actually want from it. Awesome. And I could do that in a lot of these train situations, but I don't want to do that yet, just because we are not quite ready yet to receive all that stuff, because we need more takers. We need more takers of all the cargo that we will be producing here. And if I turn my icons back on, you should see that there's not that much parked here. There's clearly some, but there's nothing overflowing, at least not at this point, besides the hub train. How many hub trains do I have? I only have 287. How about we just double this? Makes me feel good. And then we are closer to 570. Yeah, that feels good. The hub train, if the hub train is the only one that's overflowing, we're actually doing a really good job. All the other ones here look fine. The food delivery in Wyndham We probably could use a bigger train for that. I don't want to worry about that now. We don't have to optimize any of this. We just have to make sure that this runs and that doesn't get backed up anywhere. And right now it looks like it's doing exactly that. All the trains are running in here. Beautiful. There are some steam trains in here. I mean, that's a big boy right there. And it's just going to be the picture for a little while. We are in the time between steam and diesel, so that's what we're gonna have to live with. There is, yeah, every once in a while there's a backup here. I am considering adding a through station or a through run here, a through track here for the trains. And actually, this train, I'm surprised to see you. Oh no, you aren't correct. Excuse me. Excuse me, autosave. Oh, this one. We just purchased that one. That's why it's blocking the passenger train. But yeah, the passenger train should not be blocked by a lot of the stuff. And I'm actually very much considering adding a passenger track only express lane down to Newton the Willows, where the passenger train just drops off in the middle. And I add a corridor for the cargo trains on the outside. And that way, the passenger network should not be as affected as it is right now. I think we can improve this. I don't know if we have to improve this. We'll see how the money looks in just a little bit. But hey, more trains. That's what I was looking for, and I think that's what we got. So thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And I hope this will all work out next time. Yeah, this part is just still bedding in. There's still a lot of trains sitting here, and it will get better. But yeah, the passenger trains need their own setup. Otherwise, this will just be a big cluster of things, and that's not going to be good. Anyways, thanks for watching. I said that already. Okay, now for real. Bye.